Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GameKraft GameKast on the GamerAccess.com. I'm your host, Bronson Fiore, joined by the ever awesome Anthony Ta.
Hello there! It is the strangest thing to look outside my window at 8 p.m. and still see the sun up.
I have barely slept in 2 days, so that's probably good. That's probably the whole reason I'm awake right now.
Yeah.
Had a massive went to and helped organize a massive nerd party last night, and it was pretty damn epic. So
Cool.
yeah, but hey, video games.
Video
Yeah.
games.
Anthony Ta, you play any video games?
I have played video games. I've played Star Fox Zero.
So you played Disappointment.
One of two games that make me want to throw the controller to the floor, but I didn't do that. It's just one of those, like, are you bleeping kidding me kind of games.
I told you, just man.
The thing is, though, is that I remembered when I was little, playing Star Fox 64 was a similar experience. But probably, because I sit back and I'm like, this is BS. This is, expletive word here. This is stupid. And then I remember when I was little, I was getting pissed off at the exact same thing. So I actually, looking back at Star Fox 64, I'm like, maybe they nailed that part right, because it wasn't like Star Fox 64 was easy to figure out either. Like that landmaster level with the train tracks that you have to hit all the switches, and if you miss one, you blew the whole level, and that pissed me off immensely. And in this game, it's kind of like that. There's just the added frustration of gyroscoping bullshit.
Yeah, like, I think the controls in Star Fox Zero, like, Star Fox 64 didn't have, like, amazing controls, but, like, this is far worse.
I don't know if it's far worse. It actually had me really curious to, like, take out my N64, plug in Star Fox 64, and, like, play through it, because it's been a really long time. Because it's very easy to say, yeah, this game's terrible compared to the true classic that is Star Fox 64. But then, once again, I stand back and I'm like, it took me ages to get through that water level, and I hated that water level with a passion. I don't like the Landmaster either. So,
like, the Landmaster in this is way worse, though. Like, I went, I dicked around in Star Fox 64 a little bit after playing Zero, and I was like, no, that this game is just bad.
The thing is, I'm trying to figure out how much worse is Star Fox Zero, because obviously it's not as good. To me, it's obviously not as good as Star Fox 64. But, at the same time, I'm sitting back and I'm like, okay, so obviously the gyroscoping controls. Okay, the gyroscope.
They're awful. They are. Oh man. That is the whole part that ruined that game for me.
It is difficult sometimes getting used to it, because when you play the classic Star Fox games, you get used to how a Star Fox game should play. So your eyes are glued on the main TV screen for your aiming reticule, but your aiming reticule is pointing at the weak spot, but the weak spot's not taking damage. Why? Because you didn't look down at your cockpit view to get the real aiming reticule. That part annoys me a lot. Also, ZR button, that took getting some used to. Trying to figure out the orientation of the robot chicken is also
it almost seems like that they said, hey, we had this standard control system, and it works great for these games. Like, you play Star Fox 64, it takes you a level or two, and you can at least, like, get through the main game without any issues. Like, yeah, you're gonna probably go the easy path, but, like, it's still not gonna be this long blown up thing. But, like, I sit down and I play Star Fox Zero, and I played through the entire game, and even at the last level, fighting against the last boss, I just find the controls frustrating and annoying and not fun at all.
Yeah, well, the thing that obviously separates this game's frustration from Star Fox 64's frustration, like one of the biggest obvious difference is the controls are different. Because it's like, yeah, if I were to play through the hardest difficulty path of Star Fox 64, I would probably, burst a few valves too, because that took me a long time. I think I've only beaten that path only 2 or 3 times ever in the many times I've played that game. So, and the other thing I kind of notice is that the game kind of is made on a checklist, is what it feels like to me. Does it have the voice actors from Star Fox 64? Check. Does it have Star Wolf? Check. Does it have... It felt like they were doing a checklist, so at times it would totally feel like an awesome Star Fox game. Like that level where you're doing a high-speed run and you're about to reach Venom.
Yeah, like that was great.
That was like, yeah, this feels like totally Star Fox. And then when you were at Venom and you were going left or right, some of the things that got in your way, the way they moved was very reminiscent of Venom on the N64, and that was also incredible. So you get pieces of amazing potential, and then you get stuff like a gyro wing. And Zonus is absolutely nothing like the Zonus you wanted. Yeah, you got a spotlight, but it's not going to kill you at all. Whereas in the original game, yeah, you get spotted by a spotlight, you're done. You're taking the easier path. You screwed up. Got missiles? Well, you better be sure Great Fox doesn't, get blown up on the side.
Yeah, just, man.
Oh, and the level progression, it's a story path, which, I'm actually kind of okay with that, because I have to, whenever you play a game like this, because it's been so long, you kind of have to be careful that, that if you just want Star Fox 64, there is a game like that. It's called Star Fox 64 3D. If you want an exact replica of your memories, there is a game for that. So there's that very fine line between, okay, what makes a Star Fox game, and how do we not make it just like a complete, copy machine of a classic?
Yeah, the thing is, though, I don't think that flies, because, you look over at, what they've done with Mario and what they've done with Zelda.
Oh, yeah, it totally feels like Mario. And the Zelda game totally feels like Zelda. But I just kind of feel like, when people criticize this game, I just want the people to be mindful that, if you wanted a game that is exactly like Star Fox 64 but looks prettier, then you probably just want a Star Fox 64 remastered. You don't want this. So it's just one of those terrible places that the development team is stuck in, because you're not going to get that original team back together. It's just too long ago.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I just think that, they, the folks at Nintendo could have made a good game, at least.
I think the game would have been good if they, just didn't... Yeah, the clear difference here is that they try to shove some things down your throat that you don't want. Or was clearly not, made as well as it could be, and that's kind of it's a PlatinumGames thing, if that's one way of putting it. PlatinumGames, you got Bayonetta, which is incredible, but games other than Bayonetta tend to have 1 or 2 major flaws that they're there, but you're kind of yeah, they could have spent more time fixing that. In the Wonderful 101, they didn't exactly quite hammer out the frame rate, and the drawing sometimes is a bit eh. It's a PlatinumGames. PlatinumGames is going to have 1 or 2 or 3 major flaws unless it is Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, because Metal Gear Rising was pretty close to Bayonetta 2, but fuck, it was short. I beat that game in 3 hours. Now, granted, that 3 hours was pretty fucking awesome, but it was still 3 hours. What else has PlatinumGames made?
They made the Legend of Korra video game, which was terrible.
Yes.
They made They're going to make Scalebound, which, man, for me to say that was the most boring thing I saw at the Xbox press conference, that's really worrying to me.
You know, it's their 10th anniversary.
Yeah, wasn't that long? Yeah, because can you believe Okami came out 10 years ago?
Fucking crazy. Okay, from their start, Infinite Space I never played. Mad World was above average, like it was alright. Bayonetta 1 was awesome. Like, amazing game. Vanquish, same thing. Anarchy Reigns, I think I gave it a 7. I acknowledge that problems, but I had a lot of... It was a very stylish 7. Metal Gear Rising, great game, 9+. Wonderful 101, same thing. Legend of Korra was a fucking disaster.
It's a movie game.
Bayonetta 2 is, in my opinion, still the best game of this console generation. Transformers Devastation was good. I knew a lot of Transformers fans really liked it. Star Fox Zero was awful.
It's... I guess the best thing I could say about it is, like, it's passable in a D grade kind of way.
Like, that game
that's how I would put it. Like, it, obviously, because it wears the Star Fox name, it obviously has to... It's going to be inevitable. This game's going to have to live up to great expectations, and they didn't even come remotely close to living up to those expectations. They got the checklist done. Yeah, they got the voice actors, it feels like Star Fox, and, you know, like, the flying levels where you don't have to, like, stare your eyes down at the gamepad screen. Like, those are great and all, but the healing items seem kind of wrong. There's too much BS driving me absolutely nuts. It's just like... No, this is not like a Bloodborne where, or heck, maybe Star Fox 64 even, where if you lose the game, it's probably because you suck. You needed to get better at the game. It wasn't really because, you know, the game threw BS.
Yeah,
whereas
it was like there were so many points in that game that I played where I'm just like, this is literally the fault of the game.
It's just, yeah, there's no healing items. I don't feel like power-ups are worth it because they don't carry over level from level like they did in the old games. Like, that's the thing, too. It's like, I thought I didn't bother getting any, you know, those laser shooter upgrades because I knew I would lose them by the end of the level. And when I did get them, I didn't feel like my shooting power wasn't really that much more powerful. So, you know, there was no point. Whereas in Star Fox 64, it was a massive upgrade if you got the blue lasers because those are... You know, they gave you a huge advantage. So, you know, it's... I don't know. It's probably one of the most conflicting games I've played this year because it's like, you know, I don't really know what to do with it. Other than... yeah, but, you know, they gave it to PlatinumGames to do it. Didn't have a Nintendo studio do it, so... Well...
Yeah.
PlatinumGames are going to have like a couple or a few major problems holding it back. In this case, those major problems just happen to really hold the game back.
Those controls are so bad. Like they ruined the entire game. Like what could have been like at least a passable space shooter, like you pick up and go, yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, well, and there's like a couple of moments where they completely nailed the nostalgic Star Fox feel. Only to have you know, fight a giant gorilla that throws a bajillion things and swings its arm with like no warning and
well, I mean, Anthony, good news is you can trade that game in for $20.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, that the game actively just made me angry.
They didn't really make it any better in the 1 year because I remember I played it at like E3 15 and
they made it visually a lot better.
They made it visually a lot better because, you know, at that E3 it looked like a reskinned N64 game. But Corneria looks a lot better. But at the same time, I just remember playing and I'm like, you know, I really do not like these motion controls. Not to mention, why did they have to change the buttons? Because anybody who plays this game is... Their brain, people who buy this game are likely so programmed to the scheme of 64 that they instinctively push A to shoot because that's what you did.
So,
you know, so there's just a lot of conflicting things.
Looking at PlatinumGames' future titles, I actually think Scalebound looks pretty good. The thing at Microsoft that bored me was Final Fantasy 15. I thought that Final Fantasy 15 demo looked like a train wreck. Sorry.
I no, it's all right. I got in line for Final Fantasy 15 at the Square Enix booth. And I played the Xbox One console, and the PS4 was right next door. PS4 version, that's passable. It's passable. Alright, it looks alright. Obviously, this engine probably would have looked, good on a PC, but, they tried to make the world's most prettiest game and then realized that maybe the PS4 couldn't really quite run it all, so they had to tone down some things, was what it looked like. Xbox One version, I don't really, like... If you have only an Xbox One, sure. But if you have either system, why would you want to buy an Xbox One? The graphical tech on the Xbox One version just does not look good at all. It's like Final Fantasy 13 on the 360. Everything is so heavily compressed, it just doesn't look good.
Alright, well, back to Starfish real quick. So, PlatinumGames, Scalebound, I think actually looks pretty cool. Like, I still think...
I was bored because of the monotony of the fight they were showing. Like the concept looks really cool. It was just that particular fight didn't. It's probably a lot more fun to play, but to watch it.
And then the other one was the other game they're working on is Nier Automata, which looks kind of intense. So,
PlatinumGames, they're good at being intense. Ask the one for 101, ask Bayonetta. I mean, I would even say Star Fox Zero looks intense once if you're talking about, the cutscenes and the epic explosions and all that fun
just
stuff.
That it plays poorly. All right, well, so you play anything else?
Yeah, the other game that has been giving me a headache is I've been getting into basketball, so I played NBA 2K16, and I keep freaking losing these games by like 2 points. And in basketball, 2 points is only one shot. Yeah, it's one shot. So you're just sitting there, just like ready to burst a blood vessel because you lost a game by 2 points, which is effectively like you lost the game by a single field goal that the team made. No. That the opponent's team made at the final second.
I got into NBA 2K for about 2 weeks, trying to see how classic teams played against the current Warriors and Cavs. So that was fun.
Yeah, speaking of which, I know you're not into basketball, so you won't understand this, but apparently the Golden State Warriors, which are supposedly the most broken team in the NBA, in the real world NBA, lost 3 games in a row to lose the championship.
No, hey man, I still keep up with sports though, so I was watching that. In fact,
I said that and I'm like, this is the strangest year ever.
I was really hoping Golden State would lose. I
secretly wanted that too. And guess what? It was like the New England Patriots. The Golden State Warriors held the record for the best regular season record ever, and they couldn't win the championship. It was like how New England could have had the perfect 17-game season, but they lost
to them New York Giants.
Yeah. Man, but there's that. I'm really getting into basketball. The commentary in that game,
it's so much better. It's so good.
So yeah, that NFL 2K17 or 18. No, jeez, Roger Goodell. All EA has to do is throw a video to Roger Goodell, and Roger Goodell said, "Yeah, that's a good game." Because he doesn't play sports video games, I don't think.
I get so mad every time, playing that 2K basketball game and, seeing its presentation and seeing the way it works. I played it because it was free with Plus, and, I'm not the biggest basketball fan. I'll watch it if it's on. I got to watch a lot of it this past year because at work, one of the clients, just loves watching basketball. That said, that game, the entire time, I'm like, oh, so this is where NFL 2K would be if they didn't murder it.
Yeah, that's where it would be.
That sucks.
When the team nails the winning shot at the buzzer and it goes in, the whole crowd actually erupts and the whole place is shaking. Meanwhile, in Madden NFL 18, 19, 20, whatever, And they got the winning touchdown, and they got the win. That's great, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, like it's the most soulless, boring, stupid thing in the world.
Well, when you are the only football game, what what are people gonna do? Not buy it? Well, the people will buy it because you're the only choice.
Yeah, but like NBA 2K was the only basketball game for ages. Like because Live went away for like 4 years, and even currently is awful. And 2K was still fantastic.
Yeah, that's a rare thing though, because whenever you don't have anyone competing against you, you don't really have as much of an incentive to do better.
It's EA, man. Like it's absolutely.
It's like how they have the exclusive license to all future Star Wars games for however many years.
Yeah, and man,
it's just like they have all rights to future Star Wars video games. So that's why Battlefront didn't really come out as good as it could have. Because what are you gonna do? Write an angry letter to them? Because there's many more Star Wars fans out there that have yet to be convinced that Battlefront is a very incomplete game. Which, by the way, is a news story.
Yeah, that game, like, I love how you'll log into it after not playing it since launch and be like, want to spend $50 on DLC so you can finish this game that you paid $50 for?
What's really stupid is they don't even tell you what that $50 bought you at first. They'll get you something. Get you what? Stay tuned for more details. What?
Yeah, like that was really annoying. So yeah. Anyway, so you put time into those. Is there
Conversely, I'm really enjoying Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE. Great name, guys. Great name.
Yeah, we'll just call that Tokyo Mirage.
Yes. I really like that game. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe if I play this enough, I'll actually get better at Mega 10 games. Seems to play. The gameplay seems simpler though than in other Mega 10 type games I've played, but I really like it. Liking the art style, story's pretty decent. It's pretty. Fire Emblem elements are cool. I like the whole, fusing elements here and there to create new weapons. And
this game, like everything I saw about that game, I'm just like, they made a Persona game.
Yeah, until Persona 5 comes out, which is that this year?
No, that is Valentine's Day.
Cool, Singles Awareness Day. Celebrate with Persona 5.
Persona social.
You may not have a Valentine to hang out with, but you can sure have your friend's social links in Persona 5.
You may not have a girlfriend, but you can go talk to your best girl in Persona. So
yeah, I'm liking it. I'm about 4 hours in, which is surprising because I don't normally just put like 2 or 3 hours into a game in a single day like that.
I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait for that game to be in the mail on Monday, I believe it is. Like I have the day off. I'm going to spend that entire day like my mail comes at like 3 or 4, so I'm gonna spend that entire day just playing Overwatch.
It is your medication until Persona 5.
Yeah, like playing that and Overwatch. That's why I'm thinking about Overwatch.
To me, Tokyo Mirage is not like mind-blowingly spectacular, but it's good. It's just that I've never really understood. I never really understood how to play the Mega 10 game because the dungeons are really long. The dungeons are long, and they're like that random generated stuff with the same looking hallways. I was just never a fan of. So.
Yeah, like I'm telling you that that once you get over the learning curve, though, those games all become way easier. Like
that's the thing. Though.
Persona 4 was super hard on my first run through. Now I pick up like every Mega 10 game and just blow through them. Like the same thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully Mega 10 will do that same thing.
Like same thing with like Dark Souls. Like I picked up Bloodborne and I got my ass kicked a lot. And and Um, and yeah, that game was challenging, but like at no point was it unfair. And then like Dark Souls 3 came out, and I was like, oh yeah, this is not nearly as hard as people say. Like it's hard. Like I'm not gonna say like that's the thing. I was like, I'm not gonna tell you all those games aren't hard, but I'm like people make them sound like this is the most ridiculous shit ever. No, like the fact that like my
If you are
manager,
used to stuff like whacking in Skyrim or mashing A to attack in Dragon Age, yeah, it's gonna seem impossibly hard.
but like I, we got Ray and I got our manager who like barely plays games, to pick up Bloodborne, and like yeah, the first time he played, he's like, this game's impossible. What are you guys talking about? And then like a week and a half later, it's 11 at night. I'm at home, reading a book. I get a phone call from my manager being like, "Hey, so I just beat this boss, and I looked online and said I need to go to this place called Old Yarnum. Where do I go?" And at that point, that's the midpoint of the game if you aren't doing secret bosses. So like people who are just like, these games are impossible. Like, no, they just require you to use your brain. That is literally all. Like,
Brain and patience.
you know,
Because obviously, if you're gonna get stuck on a boss and figure it out, you need patience to figure it out.
yeah, and like the most attempts any boss has taken me in a Soulsborne game is 7. Okay, 7 attempts. So I mean, yeah, they're hard. I'm not gonna like I said, I won't tell you that like these games are not fucking hard because they are. But like this fucking bullshit that oh yeah, prepare to die, da 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 da. Like yeah, no, that's
I
crap.
think it's because they're kind of more like people like me, where they want to play a game to like make progress, and that's the form of fun versus the skill-based form of fun that you would normally find in like extremely tough MMO boss fights or Bloodborne. Like for some people, a game is to relax, and for others, the challenge and the process of success is the reward. Whereas for others like me, it's more like just enjoying, like being laid back.
like my thing is though, like okay, then yes, Bloodborne is not for you,
Yeah, like
but
I feel like Bloodborne and Dark Souls is more for like the kind of person who wants to work for the success and the
like
reward as a form of entertainment.
um
But yeah, it's
like
just like if people say it's too hard when it's not your type of game.
yeah, like
It's a lot like how I play MMOs and I just kind of stick to the normal stuff. I don't exactly spend 8 hours a night trying to figure out raids and all that kind of stuff because it's not really my kind of thing. I don't have the energy to do that, or nor do I want to spend my time doing
like
that.
the thing is though, the reason I enjoy the Soulsborne games is because like I get that like sense of achievement like of beating something or doing something, and like I had to put in like some work for it. It's not a lot of work. Like it's just more work than the average like a game like Skyrim. Like it's like
Now,
okay,
Skyrim, yeah, like in the case of Skyrim, the only thing you need to work with is just time. That's all. To get your progress, you just need time. Level up, got a high enough level, equip your awesome gear. That's it. Fine.
which yeah, like Bloodborne can be the same thing said for it. It's like I keep getting my ass kicked by these guys. I'm gonna go back to a lower level, murder them repeatedly,
Well, that's
and
different
buy
because that's a
stuff.
leveling thing. In Skyrim, it's just kind of like you just quest some more and then you reach that point. It's just kind of more like complete the checklist. But
Uh,
yeah, I'm just not a fan of like grinding. It's just like I want progress. Well, my playstyle is more laid back and progress than
uh,
that's why Dark Souls I mean, I totally understand why those games are fantastic. It's just it's not
I,
for me. It's like the only time I ever shove in that kind of work is, funny enough, sports games. I would get obsessed in Madden to try and just figure out every single possible way to shut people down.
I want personally, I want to sit down and like play Bloodborne with you sometime.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
probably a great idea.
because like, especially because like I look at that game now and I'm just like, if after beating it twice, I've very much been of the opinion that it's like, it's really just, it's just like, it's trial and error and like, the thing I like about it, I guess, so much is like that thing of where like a boss will kick your ass two, three times, and on the fourth try you finally figured it out and you beat the shit out of it, or like you barely scrape by and you get and like it pops up on screen, prey slaughtered. Well, and it's just like, oh yes. Or on Dark Souls, victory achieved. But anyway, moving forward, you play anything else besides Tokyo Mirage?
Uh, that's all that's on my mind actually. I'm in for like an RPG packed summer. I mean, Pokken Tournament's still sitting around. I still haven't like really played that much Xenoblade. I have to start that over, and I think I'm gonna go through The Witcher again because I kind of rushed that one last year. So, but yeah, just an RPG basketball heavy time.
All right. Well, I went back and played Portal 1.
Hey,
Um,
Portal One, and
yeah.
all the cake jokes.
Uh, Man, there's so many better jokes in that game than the cake is a lie. But
The cake
uh,
is a lie is the one that became the meme.
yeah, one of my favorites is when they're talking about momentum with portals, and it's like simplified version: speedy thing goes in, speedy thing goes out.
Cool.
Um,
There you go.
yeah, like. Or like when at the beginning of the test, like this test is impossible. There's no way to beat it. You might as well go home. And then like you figure it out really quickly. And Gladys is like, "Congratulations, you succeeded in the face of extreme pessimism." You know, just stuff like that. I got a good jet like and playing Portal One, like it'll be a decade old next year, and that is one of those games that I would put in the masterpiece category.
For me, it would
Uh,
be Portal 2.
I think
Portal 1, I played through it, and yeah, it's fantastic. But, it's just, it's... The small project feel is probably not my kind of thing, but like, it's a fantastic game, but it's just that, to me, Portal 2 was better because in addition to the fact that you got a masterpiece of a single-player campaign, it also had best local co-op I've ever played in a game, period.
I love Portal 2. It was the game of the year that year. Absolutely agree with that. But like playing Portal 1, like just the way that they teach you the mechanics, like how they like drip feed it to you, but do it in a quick fashion, how the puzzles are made, and like how quick and funny it is, and just how the portal gun is fun to mess with. Like I haven't played a Portal game in 4+ years, and just like getting back into the shoes and like getting the Portal gun and fucking around with momentum and like the endless portal thing and stuff like that. It was super cool.
It was
Um,
so trippy though. The fact that you could fall through a portal and come back through the ceiling down to the floor, up to the ceiling down to the floor. It's like that stuff was like, how do you do this without like making your brain hurt as to trying to figure out how they managed to do this? It's like looking at a mirror that's reflected off another mirror in the background. You can see like the endless tunnel, and you're like, what?
yeah,
Just really, it's like really trippy stuff.
it's super, and just like how fun it is. Just like I got the full portal gun, and I was like I'm gonna look at this weird thing and mess around with this weird thing, and and it's just fun to play with, and like the pacing is great, and like I love how that was a 2.5 hour game that like if a game like that came out now, I would adore it. Like if a $20 2.5 hour game that was super fun and quick.
And so for me,
Um,
the reason why I like Portal 2 a lot more is because it has all the great things of Portal 1, but expanded in all the right ways.
I agree with that, except for the fact that I think Portal One can drag at points. Like
Portal
there
2
are
could
points.
drag, but it kind of made up for it because, when you have stuff like Cave Johnson and the potato, yeah, I think, yeah, it could be a drag at times, but again, it's just like there's just so much. It's like they expanded Portal in all the right ways, and the co-op, oh man, I don't think I've ever had that much playing a game co-op since Portal 2.
But yeah, that's awesome. Um,
But yeah,
but yeah.
Portal was really good. Yeah, I could totally agree with that. And yeah, I
So
think like both those Portal games, I think yes, they're complete masterpieces.
yeah.
So I don't. The thing is, it's yeah, it's just like man, a Portal 3. What are they gonna do with that? And then I sit here and I'm like, they haven't made anything with a 3 in it. There's so many games that could have made with a 3, but they didn't. What is
Um,
their game studio working on right now?
uh, Supposedly Half-Life 3.
Really? Because they could make
Uh,
Team Fortress 3 or Portal 3 or Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
or Counter-Strike 2. Bum
Well,
bum
I
bum.
think they're busy with Counter Strike Go. Actually, that's
Yeah, that
that.
came.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the thing is though, Counter-Strike Go is 4 years old this year.
Oh,
So
okay.
so they had Counter Strike, and then they had Counter Strike Go. Well, Counter Strike Source, then Counter Strike Go, but those are all like revisions and reworkings to Counter Strike. Like Counter Strike Go is kind of a sequel, but even then, and I like Counter Strike. Counter Strike's great, but um, in fact, Counter Strike Go is actually on my Steam wish list right now. But looking like, excuse me, like going and looking at what they could be working on, they're not going to make a sequel to Dota anytime soon. I don't think where they're going to get a sequel to Counter Strike anytime soon. Half Life ended on a cliffhanger. Portal didn't. Team Fortress is still going strong. So it's like Half Life is kind of like the odd man out, and it's the one everyone wants. And I feel really bad for the people working on that game.
Yeah, if you say you work at Valve, that is probably one of the very first questions you get asked. Is either something about related to Steam or Half Life.
Um, yeah, like because Half Life Two was a revolutionary game. It was this game that was just ridiculous at the time. Like you play it now, or you even played it like you play it now, and you're like, yeah, this is a good, well-made shooter. But why is everyone to flip out of that with this? It's just like, well, because it was like one of the first games to have a physics engine, and like it, you know, like yeah, like it was one. It was
Ooh, physics.
yeah, it was one like, and I remember the moment in that game where like there's this puzzle where you have to like push a washing machine into this thing to make a board go up so you can drive your car over it. And like or like the very first puzzle in the game where you have to put a brick down to do a seesaw puzzle. And you like, yeah, nowadays it seems super simple, but at the time, like that shit was all working in real time, and then you had the gravity gun, which like it could pick up items and shoot them at people. So it's like you could pick up helicopter blades and use it to cut people in half. Um,
Uh, okay.
yeah. So yeah, that was you know, it was a revolutionary game. So I think they're working on Half Life, like on that. As for what else I've been playing, Overwatch, always. Here's the Storm, always. Both of those games are in a constant cycle. Recently, I went back and put some time into NBA 2K, which we already discussed, and ooh, and that's really been about it. Like Overwatch is an all-consuming monster. You know,
Considering all the stuff that I'm seeing on the internet regarding memes, cosplay, short videos, yeah, it's pretty big right now.
yeah, and it absolutely deserves that
Yeah, and
because
it's not like just big in like a League of Legends, Dota, Heroes, esports, challenge, professional kind of stuff. It's kind of more like big in a more playful, you know,
like a
joy.
mainstream type of way.
Like a mainstream fun, making fun of things, reenacting things sort of way. Instead of like this, ultra deathly serious professional esports sponsored headphone.
Thing.
Yeah.
Which they totally have that as a thing in that game, but it really has been accepted by all crowds, and I understand why because like yeah, like people like Ray and I totally get into the competitive side of that game, and we're like, okay, well, we've been getting our ass kicked by this, so we'll use this to counter, and da 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 da. We've been talking with Joe and be getting into Joe's groups and doing 6v6 with everyone on voice chat, and it's super awesome. And but I've also been in matches where it's just like, hey guys, let's everyone pick Junkrat and be weird. Like just it's a game for really everyone. And it is currently, in my top three for the year. The three games that I keep telling people you need to play this, you need to play this, you need to play this are Overwatch, Uncharted, and Doom. Doom being the one that I have been the most vocal about because I haven't seen that many people play it. And for me, it's currently tied for my second, best game of the year. That is such a freaking good game. Uh,
Cool.
yeah. But yeah. Oh, I also played some Sonic CD.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
The one of the
So
only few things that even made a Sega Saturn, Sega
Sega
Genesis,
CD.
Sega Genesis CD add-on even worth it is Sonic CD. Oh.
So I guess I will discuss the Humble Bundle is having a sale right now. And what it is it's for $1 you can get Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventure, Sonic CD, and Sonic 3D Blast. And if you pay $10, you get all that plus Sonic 2, Sonic All Stars Racing, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic the Hedgehog Episode 1, or Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1, Episode 2, Sonic Generations, and Sonic Lost World.
Wait, all that
So
for $1?
all that no, all that for $10. If you pay $1, you get Adventure, Sonic, and Sonic CD.
Oh, okay.
So I paid $1 because Sonic CD is the best Sonic. Fight me, internet. It's not 2, it's Sonic CD. And yeah, that game holds up really well. In the version they released for Steam, they let you choose between the English and Japanese music.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. Like it looks great. Like uh, proving that era of games is really timeless. Like on my nice 1080p monitor or 1080p computer screen, it looks gorgeous. Like all the sprite work and the animations and stuff, like beautiful. Um, but yeah, which connects me to Steam sales because I consider that part of the Steam sale. So
Hey, a game for $1, instant
yeah,
sale.
3 games for $1.
Three games for $1.
And if you paid $10, like a lot of games, like a lot. And actually, they chose for the most part the good Sonic games. The only game in here that's not like what I would call good are 3D Blast and Sonic the Hedgehog 4. The rest of these I would rather rate between yeah, it's good or it's awesome, like Sonic CD and Sonic Adventure 2. Um, yeah, it's Sonic's 25th anniversary, everyone. So yeah, happy
Sadly,
birthday.
that franchise after Sega left consoles is uh,
It's been really up and down.
the once super competitive franchise that Sega had against Nintendo, and now it just kind of degraded to really
So
bad levels at times.
say Sonic was literally made to compete with Mario. I remember reading that Console Wars book last year, but like the post Dreamcast Sonic games, right? Were Heroes was okay, like it wasn't amazing, but it was all right. Shadow the Hedgehog was awful. Sonic 06 is one of the worst games of all time. Secret Rings was mediocre. Um, Black Knight was terrible. The Werehog one was terrible. Let's see, what else was there? Sonic Colors was good. Sonic Generations was awesome. And instead of expanding on those games and those ideas, they decided to ruin everything by making Lost World and whatever the newest one's been called.
Oh joy.
So, real shame because I have some very fond memories of those games from when I was a kid. Like that, there are some legitimately really fucking awesome Sonic games out there.
The only
Um,
Sonic game I've ever played was the one on the Dreamcast.
Adventure or Adventure 2? There were two
I
of them.
forgot what it was, but it was like the beginning of the game, and it had like this water pure level where you're
That was Adventure.
okay.
That's one of the games on sale in this Humble Bundle for
Okay,
$1.
cool. But I was like what, like 6 years old at the time, so I had no idea what I was doing in that game. That's just all I remember, and it was this thing called the Dreamcast with this really strange controller, and I didn't know what this expansion port thingy at the top was. All I knew was that I was at a family's place, and they also had an original gray brick Game Boy.
Well, I like if I look back at the history of the Sonic games, like one, two, three, and CD are all classics. Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 were good for the time. The rest of the series is you could discard it and no one would care. Sonic Generations may be an exception to that also.
Okay.
Um, so like they had a really good 5 year run there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so moving forward, that brings me to Steam sales. I caved. I caved hard. I have spent a total of let's see, 250 plus 6. I spent 850 and got the Sonic games I talked about, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and BioShock and Tomb Raider 2013.
Cool.
I have
I haven't bought um any Steam games because I actually can't think of a game that I actually want to buy and play from Steam right now because my Steam library is just pretty much complete. It's like I don't want to buy Grand Theft Auto 5 again, and I'm like loaded up for the summer already.
I'm going to get another copy of Doom and loan it to you because man, that game and it's like I think that game has an adrenaline rush you might be able to get behind. But anyway, looking at the the top sellers list that they have here, I encourage everyone and their mom to pick up Doom for $35. The only reason I'm personally not is my computer can't run it. Um, so I will wait until I have a PC that can run it. Grand Theft Auto 5, great game. I'm not buying it a third time. Fallout 4. Uh, eh, eh,
See how I said there's no Steam game that I want to buy?
Hey man, I could
I just
probably
found
find
one.
what? What'd you find?
It's like some smaller little driving game called what's it, like BeamNG? I'm like watching a video on it right now.
Hey Anthony, you want to know what you should consider in the Steam sale? Stardew Valley.
No.
Come on, man.
Look, I'm sorry. Like, I had like freaking Final Fantasy 14 as it is, and more RPGs. I don't need another game to suck the soul out of me.
Come on, man. You know you'll have fun with it. Um, all right. Well, Steam sales are happening. Uh, for $8.50, I think I made out really well.
I think so too.
I'm looking at some other stuff. The Witcher 3, $25. Um, Rise of the Tomb Raider, 38. Um,
Oh man,
Stan-
this is crap. It's an early access game.
the Stanley Parable, $3. Uh, Anthony, question: would you be interested in a game that's like launching your own space program and running your own space program?
Oh, that does sound a little interesting. Yeah.
Look up Kerbal Space Program.
Okay, Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah, I highly encourage you if that sounds interesting, because I know Vinny kept bringing it up on one of the podcasts I listened to like every week for like 3 months.
Did you have that one game called FTL where
Yes,
you
that was
know?
that was different. That was Oregon Trail in space.
Okay, cool. The last time you played it
Um,
was I Still Alive?
yes, yes,
Okay,
you
cool.
were. I nearly bought an early access game because. So, have you heard of the? I guess we'll call it an anime called Ruby.
I have not.
Well, it's an anime made by Rooster Teeth, and it's really, really good, and especially its action scenes. And they're currently working on an action adventure RPG. Uh, and it's currently in early access, and I'm just like, yeah, no. I looked at it, it looks cool, but I just refuse to get a game in early access.
For
Yeah.
me, it is like I normally avoid early access games because they normally would exist as full games in quotes. Street Fighter 4, Star Wars Battlefront, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But then when you step down more to like more of like small studios, independent studios, and that kind of stuff. If you read the user reviews and they say this is an amazing thing and has an amazing concept, and that's when I think an early access game is all right. Like for me, I bought an early access game last year. It's called Automation. You build your own cars, build your own engines, and you make cars basically. And that stuff clicked with me. In fact, I spent like how many hours have I spent in that game now? I actually have Steam open. That's how I found this stuff. I have played that game for 203 hours, and it didn't even have a campaign mode yet because being early access, the most you can do is just have a sandbox to make your stuff. But to me, I already got my money's worth because I paid $30 for the early access and I already spent 203 hours, and they haven't even like made progress on the campaign yet. They just kind of worked more on sandbox features before they kick the campaign. Like to me, that's a case of an early access game totally worth it. And now that I looked at this new driving simulator physics thing called BeamMG.Drive, I'm like, ooh, people are really liking it. It's overwhelmingly positive. You know what? I'll buy this early access game too.
That's how I am with Ruby. Like Ruby is like I'm super excited for it. I want to really put some real time into it, but I just like I'll wait for it to be a done game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously early access, it's almost like Kickstarter, but the difference here is you actually have a functioning game. It's just not a complete or finished functioning game. So, because Kickstarter, you run into problems like the Mighty Number 9, which I actually did look that up, and
it's out.
It is out.
I've heard
people
that
do not like it.
Yeah, I've heard that it's
the sheer disappointment of that game right now. Like, is it complete garbage? Probably
That's not what I've heard. I've heard it's okay.
Yeah, but the thing is that with that kind of expectation, with that kind of backing, with that kind of with the creator of Mega Man working on it, like there was just so much expectation. It had all this money and all these delays, and what ultimately came out just a merely okay game. That just ugh. So like that's one of the perils of a Kickstarter project. Where in early access, it's actually a bit different because you have a functional game. You have people who have written reviews for the game. So you can read what it is, see if it's for you, and if you want to commit to that game and play whatever the game has so far, like in the case of Automation, there you go. Like shit, like Automation is probably one of the best $30 I've ever spent in games.
I actually almost feel a little better about a Kickstarter because at least with a Kickstarter, like I know that the game will be a finished product in a lot of cases, depending on who you back. Now if it'll be good or not, I don't know. But like, I know a ton of people complaining about that Ruby game, and like, it's been on early access for only 8 months. But even then, though, it's like, well, it feels very broken and unfinished. And also, I like playing really polished games, and that doesn't help me personally.
Yeah. Again, I normally avoid early access games a lot of time. It's just like a very specific, like it's very rare. Like for me, what gets me hooked on early access games, yeah, just make an awesome car simulator of some kind, and then you've got me looking.
Yeah, but there's, as always, ton of good stuff in the Steam sale this year. I encourage everyone, PC gamer or not, to go take a look. Because the thing that gets me on Steam sales is I go into the under $5 section or the under $10 section. And yeah, like that's what gets me. Like, I'm not gonna buy like Rise of the Tomb Raider or Doom because they're like $35. But like, I'm gonna go into the under $5 section or like the under $10 section and be like, oh yeah, I don't own South Park. I don't own Counter-Strike Go. I don't own like.
Yo, Peep, Civ 5 is only $7.50.
Yeah, like I own that game already, but like,
looking at the under 10 other people out there, yes.
Yeah, like looking at the under $10 sections, like I don't own Counter-Strike.
Would you like Portal 2 for $5, people?
Yeah, like I don't own South Park. I don't own the Stanley Parable. I don't own Wolfenstein. I don't own Dark Souls 1 on the PC. I own This War of Mine. I don't own Payday 2.
Mass Effect actually sold here.
Mass Effect 2. I don't own Fable 1 on PC. I don't own Transistor on the PC.
Saints Row 4, $374.
You should buy that game. It's so good. I don't own XCOM 1 on the PC. Like this, it's so dangerous because you're like, oh, that's $3, that's $5.
For the price, here's the thing: for the price of a lunch, you can have a game, or even less than the price of a lunch. Even
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is $3.75. $3.75. So fucking ridiculous.
I know. Dang. Hey, Sleeping Dogs is $7.50.
Some might say that was the 10th best game of 2012.
Some say.
For those of you who get that joke.
Yeah. Hey, Mafia 2. I really like Mafia 2. $7.50. Mafia 3 is coming out this year.
Yeah. No, that's the evil part. Tomb Raider, $5.
You can get Final Fantasy 14 for $10.
BioShock 1, $4.
Shogun. Right. Total War Shogun 2, $7.50.
Alright, so we're gonna move forward though.
But yeah, Steam sales, check it out. They got like almost any game that you type into the bar is pretty much going to be on sale, with the exception of probably the latest of the late releases, and even then, Doom's on sale right now.
Yeah, Doom came out a month and a half ago. It's $35. Dark Souls came out 2 months ago, and it's $45. So and
here's the other thing too. I actually like that. It's not like a trade show where you only probably see them only once a year, because if you miss the summer sales, like they put one in like
they got the fall and the winter one.
Yeah, they have the fall and winter one, so it's like 3 times a year. So if you miss this one, just wait a few months, and hey, there's another one. That's how I got City Skylines. It was like late December. It's like, I want a city building game that isn't the garbage that is SimCity, and I got City Skylines, and I pretty much didn't sleep that night. So that's pretty awesome. Hey, Metal Gear Rising Revenge is $7.50.
That's another game that's so fucking good. Like, the end of that game is you are fighting a senator who is a cyborg on top of a giant Metal Gear, and you're a cyborg ninja, and it's ridiculous and huge.
In a way that PlatinumGames does it, right?
Oh,
They're good at making stuff like that. Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising, like just that over-the-top, crazy action kind of stuff.
So yeah, we do have to cut the show early this week, due to some things going on over at my house. But
dude, I finally found a game I'm gonna buy on Steam. Yay! Oh god.
What is it?
It's that BeamNG Drive thing I was talking about. It's a driving simulator with. Here's the interesting part. So you know how car crashes, you can crash into a wall no matter how hard, and the car still has that rigid structure.
Oh yeah, I see this game right now.
Yeah, BeamNG basically has that same crash physics you would see during a crash test. So, you know, if you crash, you pretty much completely fucked up your car. Like, you get to see and know that your car's completely undrivable as you hit a tree.
I'm telling you right
what's
now.
It called again? Soft body physics. That's what it is. Very complex stuff, but, you know, now it's here.
I'm telling you, because it does seem like a total Anthony game.
Dude, I bought automation. Dude, I bought automation where you build engines and cars, and I played that for 202 hours. What am I going to do in this one?
Okay, well, in this one, the thing I'm telling you about is, like, it's building your own space program. So...
Well, yeah, I mean, I did play Civ a lot, so, you know, all that building is great.
Yeah, like, I've been playing Civ 5. Oh, yeah, that's another one. I played Civ 5 all weekend. Like, on my day off, I started the game, and I was just like, oh, yeah, I'll put a couple hours into this, like, right when I woke up. 5 hours later.
Yeah, it does that. Heck, like, I forgot who it was, but John and I, we suggested Civ 5 to one of our listeners on Unscripted, and yeah, she played it for 5 hours.
Yeah,
I like how one of the number one topics that comes up with Civ is how we complain about all the other leaders, and we just, you know, take care of the problem.
Queen Elizabeth was all up in my shit, and now she doesn't have a society anymore. So
yeah, like for me, it's like why is Bismarck? Why are the Germans always annoyed at me? What is it with you people?
Bismarck is a backstabbing motherfucker, because what happened to me and Bismarck is I was in an alliance with him, and he's like, and he turns around and is like, I denounce you, and I'm like, okay, if you were not across the ocean, it would be on.
Meet.
Yeah.
Bismarck, meet giant death robot.
Elizabeth is meeting tanks, though, because she right on my border and talking smack. So I'm just like, all right, you have archers, I have tanks. This shit's going down.
Yeah. But yeah, the Civ 5 could be like its own entire adventure. It's amazing. And hey, Civ 6 is coming out, and oh man, can't wait. You know, it's like one of those games where I'm like, all right, so I'm going to take vacation this entire week. Goodbye, society. You'll see me later.
You want to know what I'm terrified of? The fact that, like, when I build my computer, a Steam sale is likely to happen right after.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That is
You might want to consider more than a $1,500 budget, dude.
Well, I believe the total price of the computer is $17.
Okay, so you probably need $2,000, dude. But hey, think about that 2 terabyte drive that's gonna hold all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, anyway, we gotta go, peeps, because I gotta grocery shop and take care of some other business. Sorry for the short one this week. We'll be back next week. Follow us on Twitter @TheGamerAccess, Facebook.com TheGamerAccess, and Twitch.tv/TheGamerAccess. There's a donation button there. It helps us buy equipment and food and get us out to E3 and PAX and things of that nature. So, yeah.
Thank you, everyone.